Hello, hello, hello. I'm just going to give you a few minutes. I'm going to give it a few minutes so everybody can start coming in. Hi, Raven. Girl, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm doing it. Oh my goodness. Oh, come on in, come on in. So today we're just going to talk a little bit about hair care. So I'll just give it some more time. Ooh. Hi, Angela. How are you? Oh, wow. This is amazing. Bring them just a little bit more time. Oh. Raven, you checking me out? I guess I was saving this for the right time, right? Ooh, just a few more minutes. A few more minutes. Hey, hey, hey. Hello. Hi. So today, basically, well, let me introduce myself. I am Alicia Hall, and I am the CEO of Hair by Malicia. Today, I just want to talk a little bit about what I know. I've been in the industry for about 20 years, and it's been a amazing run, and I am definitely enjoying it. So I'm at the point now where I want to basically not only do hair, but I want to actually talk about, I want to kick the knowledge that I have because a lot of people don't really know a lot about their hair. That's why they go to different hairstylists or maybe do their hair themselves at home. But I just want to just give the basic rundown of the things that you should do and what you should not do. Okay. Because I've been coming across a lot of women that they're losing their hair or they have a form of alopecia. It's just so much is going on in our community with about our hair. So I'm to the point where it's like, let me just kick a little knowledge, because sometimes we feel like we know everything about our hair, but sometimes we just don't, you know. So I can just basically just give you the rundown as to what I do here in the salon when clients come in. And also like advise people that are doing their hair themselves at home to just find a great stylist, and kind of link yourself with that stylist. I mean, someone that you can trust because our hair is really, really, really important. It's valuable to have healthy hair because when your hair is healthy, then you don't have to camouflage. You don't have to do too many different things to your hair to keep it looking great. So, with that being said, I have some notes because I can ramble on sometimes. So, I just want to kind of stay on course. I should have, this really and truly, I wouldn't even say this is a class. I would just say this is more of hair tips, because education is definitely important. Because today you may hear a lot of stuff that you already know, and then some stuff you probably be like, okay, well, I didn't know that, so now I know. So let me use that information. So basically, like when a client comes in, I use three different shampoos. I use a purified shampoo, I use a clarified shampoo, and I use a regular shampoo. So a purified shampoo and a clarified shampoo, that basically really is intense. It really gets down into the hair and it really cleans the hair. It cleans it basically cleans the scalp, and the reason why I use those shampoos is because healthy scalp, healthy hair. Some people think, oh my gosh, it's my hair. Sometimes it's your scalp that's unhealthy. That's why your hair isn't growing the way that it should. So, like I said, I do the purify, the clarify. And one thing that I never do, I don't scratch the scalp because you can leave blisters or you can leave sores on the scalp. What I do is even before the water hits the hair, I apply the shampoo to the scalp. Like I do it as if you're cutting a pizza. You start from the middle and you just start cutting and then, on down. So I apply the shampoo like that and then I kind of massage it in, so that it can kind of get all on the scalp. At this point, I'm not worried about it getting on the hair. When the water hits, that's when it will kind of set up, and then the shampoo will get on the hair. So my main focus in the beginning of cleansing your hair is cleansing the scalp area, just to pick up all the buildup, the residue, the product buildup. Because sometimes being natural, we apply a lot of product in our hair. So you have to cleanse all of that off of your scalp because it does leak onto your scalp. So with a healthy scalp, you would like basically um, you wouldn't have any disorders, basically, because disorders are basically like dandruff, cradle cap, eczema, and so forth. Those are the disorders that you really don't want to have. So if you cleanse your scalp, you're kind of like keeping yourself away from having scalp issues. So as far as conditioners, there are so many different type of conditioners. But let me go back a little bit. So like I was saying, I apply the shampoo on the scalp, I massage it in, and once I do that, the water hits, and then I really like cleanse the head. The head is a ball. So being that it's a ball, you have to, for me, I start on one side of the hair and I massage in circular motions to just get that scalp clean. Once the scalp is clean, then I go with I go in with my conditioner. So I love putting my clients under the steamer with conditioners. I find that some conditioners, when heat is, the heat activates the conditioner, and it basically helps the conditioner to kind of penetrate the cortex of the hair. So I think that's really, really important because you want it to actually go down into the cortex, and that's how you receive all of your moisture. So then now there are other conditioners that's really more for shine and to manage the hair. So it just depends. When the client comes in, it depends on what they're dealing with. If the hair is dry, then I put them under the steamer with the conditioner that the heat kind of activates and it goes down into the cortex. So that's some conditioner. So now there are also hair repairs. That's completely different to regular conditioners. Hair repairs are more to like basically help the structure of the hair, and it's also to kind of lock keratin back into the hair. We already have keratin in our hair. Sometimes we need a little bit more, so that is a great treatment to help keep the hair strong and healthy. The one thing that I want everybody to know is like when you shampoo your hair, like at home, I get it. Sometimes you have to do your hair at home. The towel is so important. The towel that you're using to dry your hair must be a microfiber towel because you have to keep in mind our hair swells, right? When it's wet, it swells and it's more prone to breakage. So you don't want to break your hair off, by using the wrong towel. Don't use a towel that you use on your body for your hair. At home, if you're doing your hair, like I said, use a different towel. Have like a couple of microfiber towels just strictly for your hair. And I use the same towels here in the salon. And I find that with those type of towels, it kind of soaks up all of the all of the water, all of the water, and which makes it easier to like blow dry. Because when you start to blow dry, you don't want an excessive amount of water on the hair, which makes it like a longer process of blow drying. So the towels are definitely, definitely important. So after I towel blot your hair, then I go in with a leave-in conditioner. I like leave-in conditioners because I find that that's more moisture to the hair. And always, always use a water-based leave-in conditioner. Don't use a cream conditioner if you know you want to kind of blow your hair out. I mean, even if you can use a cream conditioner for like twisting, flat twist, anything that's more of a protective style. But when it comes to like blowing the hair out and flat ironing the hair, we want to use less product, but we at the same time you want to use the right products because you definitely need the leave-in conditioner and you need a heat protectant. Please, 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 if you're at home blow drying and styling your own hair, you must use a heat protectant because heat protectant, it protects the hair from all of that excess amount of heat. And then it keeps your hair healthy, because sometimes, as you can see, I'm wearing my hair natural today, and then sometimes I blow it out. So I want to go back and forth. So I don't want my hair to be damaged, from the blow drying styles. And one other thing, a lot of people get the confusion of, I would say, heat damaged hair and basically training your hair to be straight. Heat damage definitely can happen, okay? I'm not going to say that it can't. But if you're consistently blow drying and styling, then you're training your hair to be straight. But when you wet it back down, it should still go back to some form of a natural curl. It may not be a tight curl if you had a tight curl. It would be more of a looser curl or a looser wave, because the heat definitely, I'm not going to say the heat is going to, it changes the structure. It does not. But remember, it's still heat. Okay. So if you're not using the proper ingredients on your hair before you blow dry and style and add that heat, then a lot of damage can definitely take place. So, wow, blow drying the hair, heat protectant. So for me, for myself, when I'm wearing my hair in this natural state, and also for my clients, I tell them use a silk bonnet. You need a silk bonnet, a silk scarf, or a silk pillowcase. You have three options there. It's just wherever you want to go with it, that's fine. I find that the silk scarf works better for like if you blow your hair out, and sometimes I pin curl my clients' hair before they leave. So if they go home, they could just easily just tie their silk scarf on. If you want to put your bonnet and your scarf on, that's perfectly fine. You know, if you feel like you need to double up, that's fine. But for me, the braids, the natural styles are better placed under a bonnet, you know, because it's like you need the room, especially like flexi rods, individual twists, and of course braids. You need that room. So a bonnet would definitely work. If you don't like anything on your hair at night, a satin or silk pillowcase is definitely a must. It's a must because you have to keep in mind our hair is also silky when you really think about it. So if you're not wearing a silk scarf, have a silk pillowcase or a bonnet, it's friction against whatever pillowcase you're using. That's just friction, you know, and then your body heat. So it's laying up against your body heat and the friction of the pillowcase. Most likely probably is cotton if you don't have the silk or, you know, satin. So please, 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 if you can change your pillowcase or just invest in a bonnet or a scarf, all silk and all satin, would definitely help to keep your hair healthy. So basically, these are just a lot of different hair tips. You know, I'm not trying to like give you all of everything because I know sometimes it can be a lot. Because even when I went back to my hair book, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot how much information there is about our hair. It's just so much. So I'm kind of happy that I'm going back to the basics, you know, even for myself, because sometimes I think that when you're doing hair for such a long time, you kind of forget the basics because you're just in your routine of this is how I do it. But definitely going back, it gives you the knowledge that you kind of, I wouldn't say you forgot about it, but it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. So maybe you do forget about it, right? Just a little bit. But the important stuff, please don't forget about, you know, because you have to make sure that your clients can trust you and they feel very, very, very like they feel okay with you. Like they feel like I can sit in her chair and I know that she's going to help me get my hair to a different stage, you know, because when clients come in, I always ask the question of like, what's your hair goal? You know, especially if you're a new client. I have a lot of clients that's been with me for 10 plus years. And then I have a lot of new clients that are coming in and I'm like, okay, when I see their hair, I'm kind of like, okay, so what are you dealing with and what do you want to change and what do you want to see? You know, so consultations are very, very, very important. I know sometimes it can get a little busy and you're like, okay, just come on in, you know, I'll look at your hair. I'll assist your hair when you come in and we'll kind of go from there. But sometimes you have to talk to a client just to understand their lifestyle, you know, because you don't want to give a client like a style that she cannot maintain because her lifestyle isn't about that style. It needs to be something that's basically in tune with her lifestyle. Okay. So in so many words, like you just have to like basically just keep the hair healthy for your clients. And then for people that are at home doing their own hair, I am not knocking you guys for doing that. It is what it is, but you have to come out sometimes and get a little help. You can't do it all at home because one thing is like, who's examining your scalp? How do you know you have any type of scalp issues or, you know, you're constantly shampooing your hair and you're blowing it out or you're twisting it or you're doing all of the things that you do at home, but don't like say to yourself, I'm not going to go see a stylist. First of all, they charge too much and they don't have good customer service skills. And yes, it's some out there that are like that. You know, don't Get me wrong, but don't let it be that one bad experience makes it bad over the course of your life, because you need help with your hair. And our hair changes as we age. Like for instance, my hair used to be really full. And now I find it's full, but it's not as full as when I was much younger. So your hair is changing. And if your hair is changing, you need the knowledge about your hair and why it's changing and what can you do to kind of keep it healthy as you're going through your different changes. Okay, so that's why I like to talk to my clients a lot. I like to talk to them a lot about their hair. I just need to, like, I just want to know, like, what are you dealing with? Like, what is it? I had a few clients that came in on a few occasions and they were like, Mimi, my hair don't grow. And I'm like, okay, if your fingernails are growing and if hair in other places of your body is growing, why is your hair not growing? So that means that you're missing something. It's either you're missing a protein treatment, you're missing a moisture treatment, you're missing a hair repair treatment, you're missing something along the lines of just like making the hair where you can basically see a change. It's healthier now. So I am a big advocate for healthy hair. If you sit in my chair and your hair is not healthy, I'm going to let you know that it's not healthy. Sometimes we don't want to hear the bad stuff, but you have to hear it, because how are you going to improve if you don't know what you're dealing with? Like even the case of alopecia. I've come across a few clients that's dealing with that. So I would refer them to a dermatologist or even a trichologist, because a trichologist is basically someone that they do hair and they also know about the scalp. They're not a dermatologist. They're two different things. A dermatologist is more of, a dermatologist can more give you medicine for the hair, and they can basically they can prescribe you medicine and they can like go in depth with what's going on with your scalp, right? Whereas as a trichologist, they can basically like monitor the hair, do all the necessary things to help your hair to grow back, the infrared light, and all the different treatments that they give you to kind of see if hair will come back up through the hair follicles, and sometimes it's damaged to the point where hair may not grow back, because when you start to realize that your hair is not growing back, it's something going on in your nervous system. Okay, so your nervous system, you may have to go to the doctor and find out like what's going on in my system that's causing me to lose my hair, because sometimes it's out of my hand as a cosmetologist, it is out of the dermatologist's hand and the trichologist's hand. You need to go in and see a specialist to find out what's going on within your system that's causing you now to see the alopecia happening, and that's why I'm going back to who's doing their hair at home. So I find that sometimes when clients are doing their hair at home, the alopecia starts like at a dime size, okay? And if you let it keep going on and on and on, it becomes a golf ball size. Then here's the grapefruit size. And then it just keeps growing. And, and I wouldn't even say growing. It's just like, it's a circle. So within that circle, you're starting to lose your hair. You don't want that to happen. So you definitely need somebody to like, check your scalp, check your hair, just give you hair tips on how to better take care of your hair. So I'm going to talk a little bit more, and then you can ask me questions, and, I'll answer your questions the best way I can. I just love talking about what I do. So if I'm rambling on, please forgive me, but I hope I'm giving some great tips about hair, about your scalp. I said today, I know in the video I said it's hair care. It is hair care because your scalp needs to be basically cleansed and clean and healthy and all that good stuff. And then it's the hair, and then the products that you're applying to your hair, and how you're styling your hair, and how often you're styling your hair. So that's another thing. So you should shampoo your hair at least every 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, every 3 to 4 weeks is good. You don't want to shampoo your hair too often, because the natural oils from your body, you want that to actually go down your hair. I find that maybe when it's curly, it's probably a little bit harder for the actual hair to come out of your oil sebums and seep down your hair. But that's the best oil. I'm going to be honest with you. People are always asking me, what oil can I use? What oil should I use? Oils are good for your hair, but the oil from your body is the best. Okay. Sometimes, so other oils, yes, definitely they're good. I'm not going to say not, because I do oil. I do put oil on the hair when I'm going to style, but I do like a dime size of oil because I know in a few days your natural oil is going to start doing its thing, and that's going to make your hair even more oilier. So don't apply an excessive amount of oil because you don't really need it. You really, really don't. But I'm going to say this. You probably will need oil when you have the twist outs, the individual twists, flexies, because with those styles, they're more of a curlier state. So when the hair is curly, the oil, I'm not going to say it can't go down the hair shaft, but I think it's a little bit harder to, it just because it's a lot of winding. When you blow your hair out, it's straight. So it's so much easier to just flow down your hair. Okay, so like I said, that's like the best oil. So with that being said, let's talk about not keeping different styles in your hair too long. The natural styles, great. I love the braids, I love the weaves, I love the clip-ins, the crochets. I do all of that. And I would tell you, like, please do not keep them in after 8 weeks. Don't go 9 weeks just because you feel like, oh, it still looks good. Keep in mind your new hair that's coming in. You get at least 1/4 of an inch of new growth a month, right? So just imagine you've had your braids in now for 8 weeks, and you're like, girl, I am not taking these braids. I got too much going on. That new hair is still hanging on that braid. So you don't want to damage the new hair. Just look at it like this. The hair at the scalp, that's the baby. This is the teenager. This is the young adult. Well, yeah, this is the adult, and this is the old person. I know to explain it like that is kind of crazy, but I think I need you to understand, like, this right here is the oldest part of your hair. So that's why you must trim, okay? Because that's the driest part, right? But you also need to protect the new hair. Let the new hair become old at one point. Don't damage your hair by keeping in styles too long. I always say 8 weeks. 8 weeks, that's not bad. Just imagine you don't have to do your hair for 8 whole weeks. You don't have to come see me for 8 whole weeks. But I know y'all be missing me. Don't do that. But like I said, 8 weeks is definitely the max. So the braids, not too long. Please just take them out at your 8th week. Try to make an appointment or just have a plan as to what you're going to do with your hair for that 9th week. If you don't want to deal with your hair anymore, come in, get your hair conditioned, and then rebraid. It's okay to go behind and rebraid your hair again, but lock some moisture in before you do it, because you have to keep in mind, braiding hair can dry your hair out as well, right? So 8 weeks of that hair being in, when I take your hair out, I'm going to sit you under the steamer because look, it's been 8 whole weeks. You need to lock some moisture in. And if you can go like 2 weeks without putting any other protective style in, that's great. But if you feel like you don't want to, then we can just definitely do the steam treatment, just to keep the hair soft. Okay, so now moving on to the weaves. Weaves are cool. I find that weaves are not as popular as they used to be. Before time, people were getting weaves back to back. Weaves were just the it. Now wigs are it, okay? But at the same time, you just want to make sure whatever protective style you're doing, just protect your hair. Because when you take everything off, you want to see a difference in your hair. The whole point is a protective style, meaning you want to eventually see that your hair grew from it being braided up, or you want to just see fullness. You put it away for a reason. You don't put your hair away to damage it. It doesn't make sense. That's why a protective style just should not stay in longer than it needs to be. And it also needs to be done right. I find that with weaves, I don't like to see humongous cornrows because you have to keep in mind the foundation is important. The cornrows need to be small to medium so that the hair, as it grows, it doesn't grow and decline. It looks like they have a mop on their head. It needs to grow out beautiful, like 8 weeks. And also with the weaves, don't go 8 weeks without shampooing your hair, because you have to keep in mind you're sweating, you're working out, and there's a lot of buildup under there. So if you can come in and get a shampoo, that would be great. And then also there's a smell, because I have taken out weaves before and I'm like, why do your hair smell like this? Like, why? But that's because it's like, well, I I didn't really need to. But yes, you do. You do. You need to still shampoo your hair. You still need to apply a little oil under there. I know when you apply oil under, it can definitely seep out into your hair sometimes. So don't put a lot. Just put a little bit, just a little something where you can. And sometimes I know it's hard to get to your scalp because the hair caps, that's to kind of help the weaves to last a little bit longer. So sometimes applying oil can be a mission. Even shampooing can be a mission. But as a stylist, as a professional stylist, we have ways to kind of get down in there and clean the hair. So crochets are a little more simple because you can actually go through the parts, and apply oil if you need to. And the reason why I'm saying oil so much is because they're two different type of oils. Okay, there's a moisturizing oil and there's a sealing oil. Okay, so the moisturizing oil will be ideal for braids. When you have braids in, apply some oil to the scalp area so it can kind of seep down into the hair and kind of keep it, moisturized. Don't go 8 weeks and don't put anything on your hair. You got to put something on it to kind of still keep it from becoming too dry, And what other protective styles are they? I did braids, weaves, crochets. I mean, I think those are like the basics. And then the wigs. The only thing about wigs that I don't really like is if you don't put something in between the wig and your hair, that is friction, okay? And then you come in like, I don't know what happened to my hairline. Yes, you do. The wig and the friction, it's like you're moving. So it's like if you're always moving, it's rubbing up against your hairline. So you have to kind of separate your hair and you have to separate the wig. I know sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, when I put that on my hair, the wig moves too much. Well, pin it down. Try to find a way to pin it down. And you have cornrows underneath. It'll be easier to pin your hair down, pin the weave down to the cornrows. So never ever wear a weave without at least having the braids underneath, because that's another form of a protective style. Don't put a wig on hair like this. You have to braid it down and tuck it away and make it so the wig looks somewhat real, beautiful. It's not sitting up. You want it to look nice. Whatever hairstyle you decide to choose, you want it to always look nice because when your hair is done, you feel good. You look good. I'm a brand new person today. I just got my hair. You know how many clients sit in my chair? They'll come in and it's like, but as soon when they leave, it's like a brand new person. I'm like, okay, well, I'll see you later. I'm happy you love your hair, and that's why I love doing this. I love to see the smiles on people's faces. I just love meeting new people and just learning new things from different people. Like how I'm kicking knowledge today. A lot of my clients kick me knowledge about just different things in general. And it's just the communication, like the trust, the understanding, also the boundaries, because you definitely have to set boundaries. Is you have to also keep in mind, this is a business. These are clients. So set those boundaries and be respectful. And customer service skills are definitely important in all of this. I always talk about customer service skills because I know sometimes clients or people be like, how do you have so many clients? Because I'm the same person all the time. I try not to act a certain way or be somehow, even if a client comes late. I'm just like, it's fine because I be late sometimes. So I get it. Like you just treat your client well and your client would also treat you well. Okay. Am I getting off topic? Sorry, I'm getting off a little bit. So, like I said, try your hardest to not keep in protective styles too long. 8 weeks max. Okay. And then when you take them out, get your treatments. If you need a repair treatment when you take your braids out, you should have, you didn't need those braids. You didn't, yeah. Because the reason I'm saying it is treat your hair before you do all of the extra stuff, color and all of that. Don't put too much onto your hair when you know your hair isn't healthy enough to even, basically take on the responsibility of something else hanging on it, or you are changing the structure of your hair because you want this color, you want this, you want that. You just have to make sure that your hair is healthy first before you do all the other beautiful things that we can do with our hair, right? So what else? So let me tell you some good oils. So almond oil is a moisturizing oil. Olive oil and coconut is also two good moisturizing oils. But let me tell you something. Please don't saturate the hair to the point where when you come in, I'm like, I don't even need to put any more oil on your hair, because the thing about it is, well, actually, no, those oils will actually penetrate the hair shaft. Okay. The oils that will not penetrate is the black castor oil, the grapeseed oil, and the Jacoby oil. They do not penetrate your hair. Okay. Um, it helps to seal the moisture in, but it's not going to penetrate. So with that being said, sometimes I find that clients will come in and I'm just like, why is there so much plume in the air? Why is it so smoky? Don't apply too much of oil. Like, you don't need that much. I try to stress it a lot because clients are, oh, my hair is dry, so I had to put a lot on. No, you didn't. You didn't need that much. That means you need a treatment. If your hair is dry and your scalp is dry, it's more than the oils. It's way more than just oils. Oils are not going to fix dry and damaged hair. Treatments are. You got to start with your treatments and kind of work your way down to other products that you can use along the way. So I said I was going to talk till about 6:30, and if anybody have any questions, they can ask, because I did say this was going to be an hour an hour presentation. Okay, so I don't know if anybody's having any issues at home with their hair and they just can't get out to a stylist at the moment. You're more than welcome to ask, Hey, Mattia, how are you? How are you doing? Oh my gosh, thank you for joining. Thank you. Mattia is also another amazing stylist. We've learned so much over the course of time, right? So that's why I'm like, let me just share the things that I'm seeing, especially the whole alopecia thing. It's becoming a lot to me, to the point where I'm like, do I need to become a trichologist? Maybe. And just finding ways to help women with their hair, because I find that when you're not happy with your hair, it's a little sad. That's a little sad, because that's your crown. You walk around with it every day. People see this every day. This is your expression. However you wear your hair is a form of expression. Hi, Mom. Yes, it's a form of expression. So you have to take care of it. It's beautiful. Like, I love my hair. I love doing hair, like I said. And it's fun. It's fun to see the creative side of yourself. It's fun to see, like, sometimes I do color and I'm like, oh, what's this going to do? Not that I don't know, but sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, this is nice. I like this. This is beautiful. So I just try to stay in my areas where I know I'm like self-sufficient in. Color is something that I'm still learning. I think color, you will always learn it, because as long as you know your color wheel, I think you will be okay. But sometimes things can happen. You always want to know how to correct color. You always want to know how to apply color. You don't want to over process hair with color. And another thing is those box colors at home. Please stay away from box colors. I know sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, the gray is coming in, or I just want to change my hair. You're basically dyeing your hair. Like, you're not even coloring it. You're staining it, really and truly. So then when you come into a professional and they're like, okay, so what have you been? That's why the consultations are important. I've had clients where they'll come in and like, Mimi, I want to color my hair. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And then as I'm going through the process, I'm like, so when was the last? So is this box color? Then I'm kind of like, oh my gosh. So I didn't have a thorough consultation with you, because box color, it's a color correction from there. It's a mission from there. It's levels to color. Like, there's levels to this. Okay. How did I get on color? I don't even know, but that's another part of, treating your hair. You want to change your hair, because we do so many different things to our hair that we have to do the treatments. We just must. You can't go from one style to another. You can't just go from braids to more braids to more braids to more braids, and then you're wondering, why is my hair not growing? Because what are you doing in between the braids to braids? vertebrates, the crochets. What are you doing in between? Like, where are the treatments? And sometimes, even if you only want to come in for a treatment, that's fine. I have a lot of clients that will strictly come in for their protein treatments because I keep them on an actual, regimen. And there are people that strictly come in for the steam treatments or the different cocktails. It's so many different things that clients will come in for. Like, Mimi, I just need a treatment today because I stress treatments. I really do, because I don't want to keep having to camouflage your hair. Like, if you've been seeing me for a long time, and when I say a long time, I mean a few years, your hair should be healthy. Yeah, because you've been seeing me. But if you're new and you're coming in, I'm not expecting you to come in with long, flowy hair and it's healthy, especially if you've been doing it yourself at home. You're going to miss some steps along the way because you're not a licensed cosmetologist. So the things that you think that's cool, but you're still going to need a little help. And then there's stylists out here that are not even about hair care. Some of you guys are going to stylists that come with your hair shampooed, come with your hair clean, shampooed. I think they want you to blow dry it too and fly dyeing it. So what are they doing? I'm just exaggerating a little bit. But there are clients out there that they want you to come with your hair already cleansed. I enjoy shampooing. I really do, because I find that, like, when I get your hair clean, like when I part your hair and I section it and I see, ooh, it's a buildup. My mission is like, I must see everything off of this scalp. I don't want to see, because when I go in and I start to style you, I don't want to feel like, oh, I got to take you back to the bowl because I didn't shampoo you correctly. So if you have to shampoo your own hair at home, are you getting all of that? I mean, these are questions you have to kind of ask yourself if you're going to stylists that don't do any of the above. They don't clarify, they don't do treatments, they don't do anything other than come with your hair clean. Yeah, so you have to think about that, because treatments are how your hair will grow, how it will stay strong, So I'm trying to see if I've touched bases on a lot. It's 6:38. Is there anyone with any questions about their hair? Anyone at all? Anyone? How's everyone doing? Hi, Julia. How are you? Hello. Yes. So I feel like I've kind of like touched on a lot of different subjects today. I'm trying not to. I didn't. I did not. Vitamins for your hair. Okay, that's another thing. We want to keep our bodies healthy, right? So with that being said, like, most of the time when we start to gain weight, what do we say? Oh my gosh, I need to lose some weight. But then how do we lose our weight? We basically head to our fruits, our vegetables, our smoothies. We do all the necessary things to keep our bodies healthy. So that's why you also have to do the necessary things to keep your hair healthy. Vitamins are another part of healthy hair, nails, and skin. It's all in one. It's all together. So I always say biotin. The vitamin B12 is good. Vitamin D is also good for the hair. So those are oils that would definitely help with hair growth and just help maintaining, basically keeping the hair healthy, So the vitamins are definitely important, along with, like I said, your treatments and just water. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water, because your water is definitely important for your hair as well. Water touching the hair and water in your body. And that's just an overall health, try to be as healthy as possible. That's how your hair will also be healthy. So what else? So I talked about dermatologists and trichologists. So any questions? No questions? No one have any questions? I guess everybody's hair is healthy at home then, right? Well, that's a good thing, because it's definitely important, because you have to walk around with this all the time. So it needs to be healthy, right? So with no questions being asked, I basically touched on everything that I wanted to touch on today. I hope I was able to give you a lot of good insight about, like, the different treatments. I mean, I didn't give you a rundown of the treatments that I do, because I don't want to really promote the products that I'm using here on social media. But if you come in and see me, you'll know what I use. Or if you go to my website, you'll see that I have like different cocktails, or, my main thing is moisture and protein. I do the hair repair, but most of the time the hair repair is for like you coming in new, and you're new to basically you're new to me, because I examine the hair and I see that you have breakage in certain places that need, like, another thing. Sorry, I don't mean to be rambling on. Scalp, a dermabrasion to the scalp. You definitely have to have that as well. That's another treatment that's coming under, the hair repair treatments, because the dermabrasion is basically for the scalp. Because if you have an excessive amount of dandruff, sometimes shampoos are not going to help. Not to say it like that, because it will help. It'll help lift up what's there on top of the scalp, but what's below the surface, you're going to have to do extra to kind of clean the surface off so that the hair can continue to grow correctly through the hair follicle. So yes. So I think I've touched on a lot of different things. I already told you guys about the good oils: peppermint oil, rosemary oil, cedarwood oil. They're all good, but just keep it to a minimum. Try not to oversaturate your hair with oil, and cleanse your hair every 3 to 4 weeks is good. You have to cleanse. You must keep your scalp clean. You must keep your scalp healthy, because you don't want disorders to the scalp. Like, once it starts to get to that point, then it's like you have to go beyond coming to a stylist. Now you have to actually go see a dermatologist. You have to go in different directions. So you don't want to do that. If you can keep your scalp healthy, that's definitely a plus. Okay, because then your hair will be healthy. Right. Yeah, so wow. Let me see who else. Hello guys. Oh my goodness. Yes. Hi, Sean. Hey, thanks for joining in. Thank you. I so appreciate you guys for supporting. Okay, this is like my first live, and I'm a little nervous, but at the same time, I was like, I'm doing this. Okay, I am doing this. Because it's like, if you don't try, you don't know. And at the same time, I mean, social media, like, that's where you post your work, so that people that do want to come see you, or they do want to come to your salon, at least they can go and see, okay, she knows what she's talking about, or I see her styles. Okay, she's pretty good. Let me go check her out, And that's another thing. Like, when you want to go see a stylist for the first time and you're not too sure, check out her website, check out her work. You have to make sure that you guys gel. You can't just go see any old stylist because you want your hair done. No, you need to make sure that she is the right fit for you. There's so many stylists out here. Everybody can have a good fit as long as the stylist is a good stylist, I'm not knocking stylists, but some of y'all out there just be trying to understand. Where'd y'all go to school at? Okay, Malaysia, stop. But a good fit is important, a really, really good fit to who's going to take care of your hair. And then look at her hair. I mean, I remember it was a time where stylists, like, their hair was a mess, but they were doing everybody else's hair. It happens sometimes. It doesn't mean that we don't take care of our own hair. It just means sometimes it's like, I'm so busy doing everybody else's hair. It's like, I don't have time for my own. But that was a stigma at one point. I think it's better now, because a lot of stylists, they actually be looking apart, and we're supposed to look apart. You want to come in and see your stylist like, oh, you look really nice today. And you're like, okay, thank you. So come on in, let me do your hair. So always make sure you look presentable. I mean, it's like you're putting on your own show. This is my own show right here, so I make sure I look nice. I make sure that my clients feel comfortable when they come in. And it's like a lot of people coming out, oh, I love your space. Thank you, thank you. Because it's like, I want to enjoy my space as well. And I want my clients to also feel like, I like this and you're cool. And I'll definitely come back and see you. And I'm like, sure, that's how you build up your clientele. Now, you can't hit people upside their heads with your prices, but you're not giving good service. The hair might be all right, but your customer service skills are whacked. How are you treating people? Like, even if you have an attitude, Like sometimes, yeah, you may have one because of a situation, but kind of dim it. Like everybody don't know what you're dealing with, and everybody don't really need to know what you're dealing with. For that moment, you're doing hair. For that moment, the client is in your chair. Just be good. Just be good to your clients because they're always good to you. They come see you consistently. If you're a good stylist, they come religiously every 2, 3, 4 weeks. Some come every, it just depends on what they're getting done and how often they need to come see you. Because some people just don't do their hair themselves at all. I have clients where they be like, I didn't shampoo my hair. I'm like, that's okay. Every 3 to 4 weeks is fine. So you're right in that perimeter. So that's fine. Because when I hear that, I'm like, oh, so you don't do your hair yourself? No. And I get it. Because who wants to be messing with their hair if they really don't have to? So clients are always looking for good stylists. They really are. I hear that so much. Like especially when I get a lot of new clients in this day and age, they tell me they've had bad experiences like with the stylist that they just recently came encounter with. And I'm just like, but we're supposed to be in a different time where customer service is supposed to be much better. We're supposed to treat people with like a little bit of, not even a little bit, with respect. You respect me, I respect you. We're good. I'm only here to do your hair. I can't change anything else about your life. Or I mean, you can talk to me if you want to, because stylists, we hear a lot. Clients come in and they fill your ears with a whole lot, and just know whatever you tell me isn't going anywhere else. I mean, that's the part. That's the part of our job. Also, it's like clients, they confide in you about stuff, and it feels good because it's not only are you a hairstylist, you're somebody that they can talk to, because they just might be dealing with some stuff. But if you have an attitude and you're just nasty, how can a client really talk to you about anything? Because you see her today, 3 weeks from now, you can be like, so how's that situation coming along? And you're like, girl, it's better. You start that, and it's not that you're gossiping, and it's just things that some people need to like get off of their chest. They just want to talk. They just want to vent. And I get it. But you have to be in a good state of mind to be able to take on people venting to you. You can't, and then when they're talking to you, I try my hardest not to like interject with my issues. Sometimes it's hard not to, but you have to try not to. Don't tell them all about you because they're telling you about themselves. So don't be like, oh yeah, yeah, and just listen. That's something I'm also working on because sometimes you just feel like, yes, girl, I know what you mean, and this happened and that happened. Just listen. They just need a listening ear, and a good hair. Okay, they want their hair to look beautiful, and they just want to know that I was able to vent and I feel better. They're walking out this door feeling how they came in is one way, but when they leave should be another. Okay, how you make a person feel is very, very, very important because they'll always remember that. They may not remember what you've done for them, but they'll remember how you made them feel. I think Maya Angelou said that. Okay, and it's true. You will always. I remember one time. I don't remember. I think so. It wasn't that long ago. Someone rubbed me wrong, and I don't know their name. I don't, but I will always remember that person just because of that situation. And I'm just like, never again will I come see you. So just be mindful, be courteous, and just enjoy what you do. Like this is not only a job, this is your livelihood. And that's how I look at it as a stylist. I don't know if it's a few stylists on here too. So that's how I do my job. And yes, you're not for everybody. That's another thing that I had to learn. I am not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. But the clients that I do have, oh, they be loving me. No, they be coming to see me a lot. They do appreciate what I do, and I appreciate them coming in, because that's my support. You guys support me. This is all I do. If I'm not doing this, then I have to figure out what else I would do, but that's why I treat them well. Like when a client comes in and I could feel the energy is a little off, out at the shampoo bowl, we'll start to talk. So, not about their personal life, but just to kind of get them out of whatever they were dealing with when they walked in the door. Because if you bringing that energy in, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I could just feel it. I'm like, how can we switch that up just a little bit so you can just be happy in the moment that you're here? because I'm not pushing any ill vibes. So I don't expect that. That's where boundaries come in. You have to set those boundaries and let clients know, like, I feel like I don't want to know your personal life, but is everything okay? Are you all right? So just talk to your clients. Make them feel good. We all want to feel good. Even when I go get my hair done, I'm like, oh, girl, this is cute. I like this. And I feel good walking out the door because it's like I'm happy about the work that I got. So good work, good customer service skill, good treatments, and just like stylists, we just got to know our stuff so that we can always, fulfill the obligation of our job. That's basically what it comes down to. I just want to thank everybody for joining me. Oh my goodness, this is so cool. I think I'm going to do this like, I don't know how often yet. This was just kind of like a tryout to see how I would do it in front of the camera. I mean, I always like do videos, but live is a little different. You have to kind of build yourself up to get to this. Because like I said, I was a little nervous, but I was like, I'm going to just do it. It's no biggie. I've been posting my work. I mean, if you go to my Instagram page, you'll see a lot of my hairstyles. You'll see a lot of my work, Hair by Melicia. Everything is Hair by Melicia. Hair by Melicia on Instagram, Hair by Melicia on Facebook. And on Instagram, I think it's also Hair by Melicia, or is it Melicia Hall? But it's Melicia. If you plug my name in, I should come up. But yeah, so with that being said, this was nice. Oh my gosh. So no questions? No, nothing. Everybody's just like, hey, how you doing? Hello, lady. Hi. But it's almost 7. And I said this is going to be from 6 to 7. So this time went by pretty fast. I was like, oh my gosh, should I make it too long? But I think this was pretty cool. So did anybody get any great information from like what I shared today? Like, how do you feel? Like, I mean, hi, Rich. How are you? Oh my goodness. So I hope you guys did get some great information. I really do. I really, really, really do. So I'm definitely going to do this again. I'm not too sure when. So I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I don't want to come give you information and you're like, so what about, because it's a lot. When it comes to hair, it's so much to learn. And as a stylist, we know this stuff, but clients, we just try to like kick the knowledge to you guys because we know that you need the knowledge too, but we don't want to talk in hair terms. We want to break it down as best as possible so that you can understand. Because some hair terms, I'd be like, what? Even as a stylist, I'd be like, what? So imagine me trying to like, no, I wouldn't do that. I'll just break it down. And if you have any questions, you can always go on my page and ask questions. I try to like answer whatever questions you have right away. I find that being on Instagram, Facebook, and all that good stuff, I get people from different states asking questions. And I'm like, I'm not in your state, but I can help you with that one, or, but you just have to find a good stylist where you live, somebody that can like really take good care of your hair. So yes. So thanks guys. I so appreciate this. And definitely leave me some feedback. Let me know what you think. And I will talk to you guys at another time. So definitely enjoy the rest of your evening. And I will see you another time. Thank you again for tuning in to Hair by Melicia. I am Melicia, and I am the CEO of Hair by Melicia, which is exciting. Sometimes I'm like, am I really running a business? I am. It's exciting. A lot of work as well. Definitely a lot of work, but it's a beautiful thing. It's definitely a beautiful thing. I really like it. So like I said, everybody enjoy your evening. And oh, I have a question. Wait a minute. Wait. How regular do you do your cornrows? Okay, how regular do you get your cornrows done? Okay, so as far as cornrows, I find that cornrows can last. It depends. Cornrows can definitely last. I always say 3 weeks is kind of pushing it because you keep in mind they're cornrows, because it starts to get a little frizzy after a while. So every 3 to 4 weeks, yeah, every 3 to 4 weeks is fine, depending on how big or how small the cornrows are. If they're big cornrows, they may not last 3 weeks. But if they're small, medium size, they can last to about up to about 3 weeks. You know, 2 weeks for some people, depending on how you care for your hair at home. That's the tying down and doing the necessary steps. But 3 weeks, I would say, is always the max, for cornrows. And cornrows with added hair can be a little bit longer. Cornrows with added hair can go about 4 weeks. But like I said, it's all about how you're caring for your hair at home. Because once I do your hair here, that's it. And I'll give you tips as to how to care for your hair when you go home. But now it's up to you. Like I said, the satin scarf, silk pillowcases, those are definitely important for your hair. All right, guys. So let me see if there's any more questions. Let me see before I kind of log off. Hi, Linda. How are you? Oh, thank you. Great information. Oh, yes. I'm happy that you received that. Thank you. It's always good to know that you can help. That's the main thing. You want to give information that's helpful. You don't just want to be talking about any old thing, So I'm glad the information was well received. That makes me feel good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me see. Anybody else? All right, so this has been real. Oh my gosh, I actually did a live. This is cool. I can't stop smiling. Earlier, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh my gosh. Now I'm like, I'm glad I did it. This was an experience. You definitely have to try different things to see how it can work. And this was cool. Absolutely. All right, so again, everybody have a good evening. And I will talk to you at another time. All right. Bye.